Good morning, friends. Tom's asked us to just say briefly about how we're managing with lockdown and its impact on us. So for Richard, it's changed him. He's working from home, but very much he's got a very structured routine and he's working full days. For myself, I've given up work because of my health and I'm being shielded. We also have Louise at home, and she is at home because she's been furloughed from her job. And of course, we've got little dog Geordie. So it's meaning different things for each of us, and we're all going through our own emotions at different phases. So initially from anxiety and fear about what the implications were for me, and not being able to settle initially, being at home, and just moving on from that. And as an occupational therapist, one of the things, our core beliefs is that we're occupational beings and we need meaningful occupation in our days and routines. So this is a little bit of a challenge. You know, it's one thing being at home for a week or two, 24/7, but it's quite another when it's now going into weeks and months. So for me, I've had to really try and regain structure in my day, and that is from going to bed regularly, getting up regularly, and actually putting structure in my day. So on a morning I will try and be more focused, and I will do baking or cleaning, and recently I've taken on sewing scrubs locally as well. So they're things that give me a real focus on on a morning and really help get my day going, because I'm certainly finding the days very, very long initially. And that's really helpful. On an afternoon, Louise and I will often play games together. There's been a lot of emotions going on, and I think it means different things for different people. So for myself, I think after the initial thing about what its impact would be on my health, moving on from that, and you know, what's been coming to mind is the whole thing from Philippines where it says about being content in all circumstances. And at the moment, my circumstances aren't bad by any means. I've got a lovely home, I've got a husband, and I've got a daughter. And so I've got a lot to be thankful for. I keep in touch with extended family, with my other daughter, and one of the things I really miss is not seeing the grandchildren. But we do keep in touch by video. The other thing I think is just one of my responsibilities that I feel for myself is keeping myself fairly fit and active. So I've taken on jogging around the garden, which might sound a bit silly, and I do some lightweight training inside, which again, it's only very short things, but I feel it's important for me to do at this time. So I enjoy my garden, I enjoy watching the birds coming into the garden and trying to be content in the moment. So I'm really trying to be enjoy the moment and not think about the future too much, because I don't know what that's going to look for us. Many of us don't. I don't know what my work will be in the future, whether I will get back to work. So if I start looking at those kind of things, it becomes too big and provokes anxiety. And so for me, it is learning to take each day as it comes and not looking ahead too much and what the future implications are for us. So I hope that's helpful for you, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday.
Well, good morning. Thank you for this opportunity of being able to share what it's like being locked down. As normally my day would often start around about 6 o'clock or so. Take the dog for a walk and then a 30-minute drive into Newcastle city centre to work at Castlegate for Action Foundation. But obviously that stopped about 6-7 weeks ago, and now it's often will start in our wonderful conservatory here, looking out over the garden, have a cup of coffee sometimes with Fiona, and then our long commute to work. So let's you can join me on my commute to work. So it'll be through the living room, so around, and this sort of obviously takes a long time. So hi, good morning, Mrs. Hubbard.
Good morning.
Oh yeah, I've got to get to work, otherwise I'll be late. And round here, and that was such a long drive. And into the office. And so this is now my the place where I work. And so I sit at the computer doing what I normally do. I'm probably having about 2 hours of conference calls during the day on the screen, which is very, very different. But I have to say, for the most part, actually, for me, it does work quite well. Less interruptions, being able to focus on the things that I need to be doing, and I do have rather a nice outlook looking over the playing field in Choppington. As for the downsides, I think that's the same for many people. It's just the uncertainty of when it's all going to finish, and it reminds me a little bit of when I was talking to someone who did a lot of mission work and would see people go for an overseas trip that's 2 weeks, short-term team, and they say, "Oh, I got dreadful, culture shock." And you say, you don't get culture shock in 2 weeks. You're coming home. You get culture shock when you realise you're not coming home. And I think that's very much the same for us at the moment. Is the first couple of weeks it was different. It was quite exciting, but then it's dawning. Well, how long is this going to take? When are we going to return to normal, and what is normal going to be? And I think that's the thing that's weighing on us most at the moment. Just that uncertainty of not knowing when we're not going back to the normal. That's when culture shock hits.